welcome. We have a special guest with us, Saint Murad. So, and we have our usual panelists, Musa brother and Joel brother, with us. And thank you so much, Saint Murad. You have given us time and you came to our stream, and we are going to learn so many things from you today. How are you?
Thank you for having me, Glory, and it's good today that I know Joel and Peacemakers. I'm very happy to be here, and today will be a dynamite session, that I can tell you.
Saint Murad, welcome on our board, and we hope we will learn a lot.
Yes, for sure.
And yes, and that is our good opportunity to have you here. So may God bless you and use you abundantly. Welcome, brother.
Thank you very much for having me, and it's gonna be fun.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Saint Murad.
Yes.
It's very glad to see you over here with us, among us, and thank you so much for you giving us the time from your precious time, and you are here. We are glad to have you, and thank you so much. And let's say in a musical language, we're gonna rock today.
Excellent. So I love my the Urdu people. Now I have a lot of Urdu fans actually on the channel, so all good.
Yes. So today we will explore the topic with Saint Murad, his expertise. He is translating the Quran. He had translated the Quran. So we will deep down. We will have a, deep dive. I can see in a dive we can take in the standard Islamic scam. So we will see the scam which Allah has done in His book. Yes, Saint Murad, over to you, please.
Yeah, without wasting any more time, I will share the screen right away and show the people why the standard Islamic narrative is actually a hoax. The entirety of it is a scam. But please confirm that you see the PowerPoint first.
Yes, it is on the screen and we can see.
Okay, so the standard Islamic hoax. What is the sin standard Islamic narrative? This is the question. Exegesis of the Quran, so at tafseer, Tabari, Bukhari, no, not Bukhari, Tabari, Qurtubi, these people, hadith, sayings of Muhammad, biography of Muhammad, أسباب النزول or reasons of dissension, which is why the verses was quote unquote revealed, the Mecca and Medina phases. The question is this stuff valid to crack the Quran? Meaning, can I know what the Quran actually meant using this material? A Persian Quran? Well, if I were to give you a Spanish book and ask you to explain it in detail, do you think it would be a good idea to ask someone who actually knows Spanish? This is the question for the panel. Do you think it would be a good idea to ask someone who knows Spanish?
No,
That's
it's
not
not a
gonna
good
help.
idea.
Yeah, I mean, if someone wants to translate a Spanish book, he has to know Spanish. Okay, then when it comes to the Quran, why do you ask someone who does not know Arabic? I am talking about Al Tabari, Al Baghawi, and these people. Most of them were Persians who did not speak Arabic well. This is why the exegesis of the Quran is laughable. Back in 2020, I made a video proving that the Umayyads and the Abbasids were actually from Central Asia. And as you can see here on the right, also, all the features of the people was Asian. The caliph's role in it, so any Islamic caliphate it had a caliph. We are not 100% sure of the motives of these caliphs. They used to decide. It was politics. So why even listen to them? Because it is a general Islamic consensus? Bad idea. A horrible idea. Back to the Persians. Ironically, the Quran is the only book where if you want to know the meaning of a word, you never open a dictionary. Just look at if you have debates with Muslims, they will never say, well, the dictionary says so. They will say, Al Tabari says, Al Bukhari says. These are their idols, their statues that they worship. They do not look at anything from a linguistic perspective. Instead, they go to Persians who neither knew Muhammad and did not live in the same century as Muhammad, nor were Arabs, nor lived even close to the Hijaz. And the main problem with these interpretations is that they are built on flimsy reports. They say this guy said to this guy, said to this guy. Who are these people? It's like playing this game Chinese whispers. We have this game also in the Arab world. You say something to someone, and by the guy number 10, you have a totally different narration.
Yes,
Why,
true.
why should I base my translation if I were to translate the Quran on these tafseers? They are a big sham. This is a question. So, do you have any comment before I proceed?
As you said that Chinese whisper, you are very much correct, because if we can, one person, if we are saying that mosquito was killed, and they will say in the end, 10th person will say that 10 person were unalive, 10 people, human beings. So that is true that Hadith and all the chain, so many people are the narrator of one Hadith, and then also sometimes they will say it is daif. So it's very much funny. I can feel it.
Yeah. Now let's take a deeper look
Yes, Saint
at the
Murad,
Quran.
please.
Let's take a deeper look at the Quran exegesis, the sin exegesis. An overarching theme in Quran exegesis is that anything the Quran commentators do not know the meaning of, they throw it into the afterlife because they know no one can come back to life and prove them wrong. This is very sleazy if you ask me. An example would be the word Kawthar in Surah 108, verse 1. They say it means a river in paradise. This is just one opinion. It could be a river in paradise. It could be Muhammad having multiple sons. It could be anything, which is pure comedy. If you do not know the meaning of
Hmm.
the word this bad, then you are bad. You should not trust you. They also say
True.
the phrase, they also say the phrase, the people of knowledge differed about the issue, about everything. When you ask today's Muslims, either Arabic speaking or non Arabic speaking, they will say, if you ask them, why do Muslim commentators differ about every single issue in the Quran? They will say, this is because of the mercy of Islam. No, this is because the Islamic exegesis is so ignorant about the Quran. And just this reply shows the stupidity of the reply. And I will ask you, because you guys, you debate Muslims, do they say this? This is because of the mercy of Islam. The contradictions in the Quran are a mercy of Islam. What do you think?
Yes, you are right. Any other person also want to comment? Please comment.
Yeah, actually, this is, I will say, they are taking advantage for those things. When they are unanswered for the certain things, they will take such advantage as you mentioned. It's very true.
Exactly, yeah. Now, another overarching theme in all these tafseers or exegesis of the Quran is the phrase Allahu A'lam. They say Allahu A'lam, meaning Allah is more knowledgeable. By the way, they translate it as Allah knows best because they are frauds. This is wrong. It should be Allah is more knowledgeable. This is Allahu A'lam. Why do they have this phrase? It is not because they are humble, it's not because they are good people. It is because they really do not know what the Quran is talking about. Picture this. Someone tells you, "Excuse me, where is the near Starbucks?" And you will say, "Well, basically, there are 9 opinions," with the Zakir Naik voice. What is this? This is
Good.
comedy. So if I
Yes.
ask you a word in the Quran, what does it mean? You will say, "Well, there are 9 opinions. It could be a dragon, it could be a lion." What's going on, man? What are you smoking? You will say, "You, sir, you are crazy." So who you would trust more? Again, this is the same guy. He would say, "Where is the nearest Starbucks?" Saint Murad will say, 61 Ninth Avenue. End of story. So who you would trust more? So
Murad.
before going to the Sunnah, yeah, I will ask you what's your opinion so far of the Quran exegesis based on the sin?
See, in
Because,
this matter, Murad
yes,
is
Joel brother,
telling
please
that
go ahead.
leading us with the proper thing. The proper address is there. There is no nonsense things. So definitely, Murad is right for me.
Yeah, because there is a, a correct answer. It's just that these tafseers, they do not know it, they do not have access to it. That's why they have all these opinions. Now I will move to the Sunnah. The Sunnah, it came from Transoceania, not from Arabia. Let's look at these people, and I will ask you just read the names of these people, and I want you to guess where these people were born. You know, Al Bukhari, Muslim. Tell me, where do you think these people were born?
In the Arab Peninsula, of course.
Are you sure?
It should be because they are the one who are gathering all the sayings of Muhammad. They should be Arabs and Arabics, peninsula born people.
Okay, let me show you. Here we have Sahih al Bukhari, and it's written, of course, by Al Bukhari. He was born in Uzbekistan. What about Sahih Muslim? Al Nisapuri was born in Iran. Sunan ibn Majah, Al Qazwini, is born in Iran. Just his name, Al Qazwini, means the one from the Caspian Sea. Sunan Abi Dawood, Iran. Al Ash'ath, Iran. Al Tirmidhi, Uzbekistan. Sunan Al Nasa'i, Turkmenistan. What do you think? The Sunnah came from
Wow.
these areas. So if we
Uh,
pinpoint them on a map,
Pure.
yeah,
Hmm. Interesting.
none of them is Arabic country either.
yeah.
They are
So you
not
have here,
Arabic speaker, native Arab speaker.
yeah, here you have Uzbekistan, you have Turkmenistan, you have Iran, all the way to the east. And as you can see here, this is the Caspian Sea, like this guy who was called Al Qazwini from the Caspian. It makes sense. No one is from Arabia. Plus, this is a bonus tip. Oral traditions survive at the area it was born in, like, for example, the indigenous people of America. Or let's say in India, if I want to know about, let's say, yoga, I will ask an Indian sage. He is the guy to tell me about the traditions in India. I will trust him because he is from India, he lived in India, his whole ancestors came from India. I will not ask someone who is a Viking or someone from America, for example. So all Sunnah
Hmm.
writers came from places other than Arabia. Then the claim of oral tradition being passed down from Muhammad is a fraud. This is a definite fraud. What do you think so far?
That's true. It's a definite fraud and 100% because all the Sunnah is not coming from Arabic native speakers. They are not in the Arabic Peninsula. They are far from that map. And how come they can give us the correct Sunnah of Prophet? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, now we will look a little deeper and we will ask about Sahih al Bukhari. Is it a hoax? Sahih al Bukhari, let me tell you, it does not have one original manuscript. This Moroccan scholar wrote a whole book about it. Until now, no one has debunked him. What's the name of the book? Sahih al Bukhari Nihayat Ustura, meaning Sahih al Bukhari, the end of a myth. Debunking him requires one thing and one thing only, a manuscript from the time of al Bukhari. That never happened. Muslim scholars, they call themselves scholars, actually it's pseudoscience, they created the pseudoscience called Ilm al-Rijal, and I say this is hocus pocus. This is not science. What about the others? You might ask. Well, what about Sahih Muslim and the Sahih al-Sitta? We do not have manuscripts for Bukhari, maybe you have for the other six. Well, their case is even worse, as this Moroccan scholar explains in his book. Plus, not all the writings in Al Bukhari is about Muhammad. For example, the she monkey getting stoned, this is in Al Bukhari, and this is something that you will not find translated into English because it's so bad, so embarrassing, so stupid that they never translated. It has nothing to do with Muhammad. So far, what do you think?
Yeah, anything will be embarrass them. Definitely, they will try to hide that. What when we debate with them, mostly that what they do, they hide the things. They are not coming to that point. And here, what you are explaining, they didn't even trust it about it. Amazing.
Exactly. Now we will move to another dimension. We will talk about the biography of Muhammad. Here you see Abu Ja'far al-Mansur, second Abbasid Caliph. Al-Mansur, the second Abbasid Caliph, is the one who actually requested Ibn Ishaq to write the biography of Muhammad for his son Al-Mahdi. And before I tell you the next point, if you look at this guy, he looks from Asia. This is the oldest depiction for Al-Mansur. This guy was from Asia. Ibn Ishaq wrote this biography 130 years after Prophet Muhammad's supposed death, if he existed. Problem: the original of Ibn Ishaq is lost, the original of Al Bakkai is lost, the original of Ibn Hisham is lost. Robert Spencer's Did Muhammad Exist shows very well the problems with the biography of Muhammad. It's a myth. You cannot trust that this is the biography of Muhammad. Crossroads to Islam, this is another book. It shows very well how archaeology actually leads to Abd al-Malik ibn Marwan, who is the real founder of al-Islam. This guy, Abd al-Malik, is the real founder, not Muhammad. And now we will talk a little bit about Asbab al-Nuzul, which means the reasons for dissension, but they translate it as why was this verse revealed? Reality is, it is verses flying down, as you can see here in the picture. This is the meaning of the word. But Muslim translators, of course, put it as, why was this verse revealed? Well, this is a highly narcissistic, self centered approach to the Quran, later created by Muslims after owning the complete Quran. On one level, it was made to cover up the fact that they do not know what the Quran is actually saying. And on a deeper level, the idea was crafted to forge the life of Muhammad into the Quran. The reality is, the Quran does not know Muhammad. He was made into the Quran by these Asbab al-Nuzul. Before I go to Mecca and Medina, any comment so far?
Yes, Asbabul Nazul is basically a patchwork done to support some of the narratives coming from Muslims, and the scholars later on they put their own asbab nasul, as you said, to create the personality of prophet, or just defending whatever Allah has revealed, so called Allah has revealed to the prophet. Joel brother or Musa brother, if you have any comments you can add please, so otherwise we'll go to the next page.
Musa brother, I think.
Okay, you have
Okay, we can
anything,
move
so
to.
otherwise we'll.
No, no.
Okay.
He's elaborating very nicely, and I must say, Saint, it's very understandable. And in just few minutes, the things are opening to me, and definitely it's opening to the viewers also, the people who are listening us or whoever will listen this recording later. It's very understandable, and it's nice research you had done. Great job.
Well, thank you very much for your comment. Now we will proceed and we will go to Mecca and Medina. I say Mecca and Medina, or Muhammad and Moses. The sin standard Islamic narrative claims that there are certain verses or surahs that were revealed in Mecca and others in Medina. Reality is, Muhammad's immigration or hijrah from Mecca to Medina is a hoax. It was remodeled on Moses' exodus with his people out of Egypt for being persecuted for their new monotheism. But this is a very long discussion that could be a whole PowerPoint on its own. So the details of this scam are not to be discussed here. So this is another sin hoax standard Islamic narrative, and it is to make the Quran fit the story of Muhammad. Adding insult to injury, actually no one agrees which verses are Meccan and which are in Medina. Like with anything with Islam, even Qul huwa Allahu ahad, say Allah is one, they have contradictions in it. They do not agree in anything. If I tell them I want to have coffee or tea, we will fight till death. Nothing they agree to. Sometimes half of the verse is in Mecca, the other half is in Medina. This is very funny, and let me show you this. Picture this. You have Mecca and Medina. I could tell you, hey man, let's go grab some. And after 2 to 4 weeks, I tell you, coffee. After 2 to 4 weeks on a camel.
My,
This is
my
madness.
goodness.
This is madness.
Yes, indeed it is.
Now, here are things that are not mentioned in the Quran by name at all. This is so that the English speaking audience are not fooled. Hijrah or immigration specifically from Mecca to Medina, not in the Quran. Isra and Mi'raj, which is fraudulently translated as night journey, not in the Quran. This night journey, Muhammad flying to the seven heavens, not in the Quran. The Quran is very vague and it talks about other people and then they make it fit to Muhammad by force. The doctrine of abrogation, not in the Quran. The Quran doesn't say the word abrogate, it's not in my translation. The black stone, not in the Quran. Ashura, Muhammad's wives, Muhammad's companions, Eid al-Fitr, Eid al-Adha, and the five pillars of Islam, and the word Tawheed also, and many, many more. These things come only from the sin standard Islamic narrative, and I want to hear your opinion so far.
Hmm. True, there are more to this list. Basically, we will have so many PowerPoints on this, which Quran doesn't mention. For example, parents of Muhammad. So, as you said, that there are so many things which are not mentioned in Quran. So it is very difficult for them to prove it. That's why they have supportive scriptures with them, like hadith or tafsir and hasbab nazul, for that, to prove themselves correct.
Yeah,
Other
for
speakers also,
example,
if you have something to
yeah,
say. Yes.
yeah, I wanna
Mm-hmm.
hear the people first. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Joel brother, if you have something to add, please unmute yourself and share your views.
Yeah, actually, you guys are right because if we look up, there's no proper uh, details for anything. For example, the prayers doesn't have any uh, proper information how to perform the prayer and all that stuff. So it's like a handy, nothing, nothing. It's like a, what you can say that, like a handicapped one, weak one.
Hmm.
Yeah. Also, like for example, Muhammad's companions, there is a verse in the Quran, all the exegesis says it's Abu Bakr who was with him in the cave. How do you know that? It never says that. And also, we know the original myth. We know it's about Saint Felix of Nola, Algerian. This is the original myth. So why do you put Abu Bakr when clearly he is not mentioned? Why do you put Aisha, which when she is not mentioned? All of this comes from the narrative. You see, I say enough is enough. The sin doesn't have holes in it, it's just one big hole. Like Dr. J. Smith always says, you got the wrong man at the wrong place, doing the wrong thing at the wrong time. Even Muslim scholar Yasser Qadi acknowledges that the standard Islamic narrative has holes in it. Don't worry, I will barbecue the sin on my YouTube channel. If people are interested, they could just subscribe to my channel because the sin is so bad to the point that it's comedy. So I say that the sin is a hoax. These tools are not valid to crack the Quran. You cannot understand the Quran using these tools. These tools hijacked the Quran. And for people not to cause confusion, I'm not saying that the Quran is a good book. I'm just saying it's a very different book that was hijacked. And then you got all these weird interpretations. So before I go into Muslim and non Muslim Quran translations of the Quran, tell me if you have anything to add before going into this section.
No, it
Yeah,
is very much clear. Everything is very clear. And I will request if any mod is there with us. Hi, Voyager. Can you please share with us Saint Murad channel link also, please? I was trying to do it, but if you can do it, please. Yes, Joel, brother. Sorry, add
yeah.
if you want have something.
Yes, it's very much clear and effortly you are explained very nicely, and I'm getting clear with the things which was earlier before listening you in what was in my mind. So we can move it to the next one, please.
Okay,
So,
so
can I
thank
ask
you for that. Yeah,
one
yeah, yeah.
thing?
Ask, please.
Yes. So, I was, reading the method of the non-mahram to mahram, and that was also clearly said by the Aisha in the Hadith that if you want to make them non-mahram to mahram, so that is the method that you will suckle the breast. And on the other hand, that was revealed by Aisha that these verses were came on Muhammad, but the goat came and add that. What is that? The whole story, the regime and the suckling, I mean to say, where were that, verses in the Quran.
You want my opinion about it? I have a different opinion.
Okay.
Yeah. Uh, the idea of suckling breasts, I do not think it comes from a woman. It comes from a man. A man wants to suck breasts. That's why they made up the story, because they want to do this, because they are debauched. They are not good people. This is number one. Because warriors, these people, they were warriors. They told you if you die, you will get sex in heaven, and on earth you can suck breasts so that she is like your mother. This is the first thing. And the rajm is not in the Quran, of course. Rajm, which is stoning to death, is something that they made up later because they wanted to do it. So they say, well, it was a verse, but then the goat came in and ate it. No, it was not a verse. You're a liar, and the goat never ate it. It was never there. We have a lot of Quranic manuscripts, and we know that this stuff was made up later by people. You see, and they say Omar. He says, I fear that people will say that Rajm was never a part of the Quran. Yeah, fear all you want, because it was never a part of the Quran. This is just a hoax, a lie to try and add this stuff. I'm not saying that the Quran is a good book, by the way. I do not want people to get confused. I'm just saying that this is not a part of the Quran. Even the word rajm in my translation is different. It does not mean stoning to death. It means expel, just like the devil. He is marjoom, rajim. He is expelled from heaven. You see? So this is the understanding without the sin standard Islamic hoax.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Go ahead, please.
Okay, now we will move to Muslim and non-Muslim Quran translations. The question with the Bible is, which translation is better? But with the Quran, which translation is worse? This is what they say all over the internet, because this is this is how the situation is. Quran translations are so bad and so deceptive that they are an online meme. They say this is the science of bracketology, brackets, because you can have a verse of 5 words in the Quran, the English translation, and within one word you can have 2 sentences of brackets. Why is that? Because they are deceptive. And why are they deceptive? Because if they read the Quran without the brackets, you will not find Muhammad, and you will not find Islam, basically. So here, what did these people have as they were translating the Quran? We have Muslim translators and we have non-Muslim, like Osama, he is my friend, and Robert Spencer and Mary Harb. Well, they had the sin. So I say they are an orange in this uh, context, because I am an apple. So do not compare apples to oranges. We are using totally different methods. The Quran is the only book in history in which, if you want to translate it, you never open a dictionary. But you go to other writings written by Persians who are way too late, way too far, way too wrong. Muslim and non-Muslim Quran translators started by translating from Surah 1 without creating their own concordance, or you could say dictionary. It is evident from their lack of consistency in word choice. Actually, the Quran has very few vocabulary, but when you read it in English, you will feel like you're reading Shakespeare. This is because of the fraud of translators. Now, I want to show you something that you might find interesting. Let's say here the word نسخ. ما ننسخ من آية أو ننسها. So this is the word نسخ and the word آية. Almost every single Quran translation uses the word abrogate a verse. We do not abrogate a verse or cause it to be forgotten. This is sad, because if you look here, you will find that this same word is mentioned in 4 different contexts. Here are the 4 mentions. The Arabic word nasakha has a common theme in all these contexts. Do they know the common theme? No, they don't. Here, again, let's look at the word nasakha, nansakhu ayatin aw nunsiha. If you look at Christian translators and Muslims, you will find that it says abrogate a verse or revelation. Do you see any difference between Muslim and non-Muslim translations in such a verse? I ask you.
No, I can see that it is similar. We do not abrogate whatever verse we abrogate. We do not abrogate verse.
Exactly. Creating more sin based translations is like beating a dead horse. I say it is not necessary. We already have a ton of sin based Quran translations. In my translation, I do not say verse, I do not say abrogate. Why? Because I created my own concordance, my own dictionary of the Quran using its words. I found the words in every single context, and then I came to the conclusion that this does not mean abrogate. An ayah is something tangible, this is not a verse, this is just a sign. So the Quran is talking about something different. Then why do they have abrogate and verse? Because they are tied to the sin, standard Islamic hoax, because they wanted to abrogate whatever they wanted with hadith. This is the root of this hoax. So here, if you look at Osama and Robert Spencer, they say, for example, jihad means fight the infidels. In my translation, I say jihad used to mean exert effort, but the sin, standard Islamic narrative, turned it into holy war. So I'm not saying that Osama and Robert are wrong. I'm saying that their understanding comes from the Abbasid era and beyond. But mine is older. It's a little older understanding, which is what the author of the Quran maybe really meant. So it's as if they are saying that gay only means a homosexual. And I say, in the 50s, gay used to mean happy. Now it means homosexual because, of course, in the 50s, the word gay used to mean happy, flamboyant. This is not something that we can say never happened. That's the reality of the situation. So the Quran is a book that was hijacked by Persians, and then the meanings got really twisted. So that's why I say do not compare apples to oranges. They are oranges in this case, they are using the same material. If we look at Muslim and non Muslim translators, the Muslims they say something like the Quran can't be 100% understood and it is from Allah. That's what they say always. But on the other side, they say the Quran can't be 100% understood because it's from a madman or from Muhammad who is demon possessed, anything along those lines. Well, the reality is they both rely upon the sin standard Islamic narrative. The Muslim side, most of them, they are lawyers. They are trying to make Islam look better. On the non-Muslim side, they are sincere. They say it as it is. They try to be as genuine as possible, but still they are using the same material, therefore, same conclusions. They are all oranges in this case. Before I go any further, if you have any comments.
This is very interesting slides which we have gone through and you have explained us. It really means something we will learn in the end of this presentation. Seriously, because yes, indeed, it's right that there is already a narrative is built, and even the non-Muslim scholars are taking and reading from their books. So whatever perception those Abbasites, you said, right, Iranians, Persians,
Yes.
they have put, the people or scholars will read it and they will perceive the same narrative basically, which is too much corrupted by those Persians. So yes, it's very interesting what you are explaining us, and indeed we can see the difference of apple and oranges. Other panelists, if you have anything, please add on before we move to the next slides.
Actually, I'm happily surprised. I'm happily surprised. The way he elaborating the things. Please go ahead. Musa, if you want to add something, you want to know something.
No, it's very much clear to me, and I can see the difference. But brother has shown us. That is very good. Wonderful. Go ahead, please. Thank you so much, brother.
Yeah, but I will also read a comment. Our viewers have the comment for saints that detailed post mortem. So
Details what?
Yes,
thank you.
detailed postmortem. You have done this the surgical strike or whatever. You have gone in depth and you are explaining us. He mean to say.
I'm very happy that the audience are enjoying this.
Mm.
And here, this is the next one is gonna be like a test.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine this. Now, if I gave you white sugar, eggs, baking soda, vanilla, and milk, if I gave you this, what will you create using this ingredients?
Definitely for me, I know how to make cake, so I will make a cake.
Exactly. So if I give you these ingredients,
Mm.
you can make an amazing cake, like the Christian side with translating the Quran, or you can make a horrible cake, like the Muslim side when they translate the Quran. But what's the conclusion? Is that same ingredients gives you same results. It's gonna be a cake no matter what because this is the same ingredients. Actually, I'm saying this is the same standard Islamic hoax, you see? But if I give you other ingredients, then maybe we can make a pizza. These ingredients never make a pizza, no matter what. So if you are using Tabari, Bukhari, Hadith, you will get the same Quran translation no matter what. It's not gonna be much different. It might be a little different here and there. The Muslim side might lie here and there, but still you're getting the same material. So we've got a big problem. What is the solution? A Quran translation that totally ignored the sin and worked with language only, aka the Murad translation. That's what I have done. I translated the entirety of the Quran without using the sin standard Islamic narrative, and my Quran translation it's available on the Buy Me a Coffee website and also on Patreon. So the link is in the description box, and I'm sure it's in the chat. So people they could download right away and then tell me what they think of this translation because they're gonna be shocked. There are a ton of words that are not there. A ton. It's like this is not even Islam. So back to you. I have finished my presentation and now back to you.
All right. Thank you so much for your presentation, and it's very understandable, and you make it a lot easy. So there's no flaws, as you explained. Uh, can I? May I ask you a question?
Yes, now this is the segment
All
where
right.
you actually ask questions. Yeah.
All right. All right. So, as we understand the Quran, the original manuscript, it was there was no haraf. What you gonna say about that? How they put it, and what was the time period of that when they put the haraf on it, the verse?
Well, this you have to look at the manuscript itself. You cannot take the standard Islamic narrative word for it. But what's very funny is that within the standard Islamic narrative, it tells you who put the diacritical marks. They call him Abu al-Aswad al-Du'ali, and they say that Sibawayh, who was a Persian also, is the one who made the Arabic grammar. And this is much later than the Quran, so they are shooting themselves in the foot without realizing. It's very funny if you think about it. But the Quran itself, it never had these dots, not ahruf, this is diacritical marks. It never had them. How do I know? Well, look at the Sana'a manuscript, which is the oldest manuscript. Just look at it. You can never read
Yeah,
it. No,
yeah,
yeah,
we've
not
seen it. Our
yeah,
team, we have seen it, and that's why, because it's unreadable, and even sometime when we are debating, we are taking our some the people who they call that themselves as a mufti. They comes up, and they can't even read that, and also we see that the words are changed. They claim, for example, I seen in Sana manuscript, Surah Bakra, 265 to 271. The starting point was so disgusting. The way they put in the new and verse Quran, verse or Hafs Musawai, right? In
Hafs,
Hafs,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, in
Yes,
Hafs they put it,
Hafs and
yeah,
Varsh. Yeah,
yeah. So it
Kalu
was
and
the
others.
word was missing from there. So it's not a reliable source even when we go through the Sana manuscript.
Yeah. What I'm talking about is the evolution of the written Quran. It's not just that it didn't have dots and vowels, it's also that the skeletal text changed completely because it was not Arabic. This is the real secret. It was Aramaic Syriac hymns that got Arabized later. That's why they had to put the rules. Let's say we play football and do you know football? You know the VAR in football.
Yes, yes, I do. I do understand. I
Yeah,
play football.
if you apply the rules of the VAR back in a match played in the 80s, then of course you will not apply the rule in every single goal. It's gonna be impossible. That's the idea. When they
Yeah,
created the grammar, the Arabic grammar by this Sibawayh, the Persian, they made mistakes, and this is understandable. That's the idea.
great. Thank you. Uh,
And
Mr.
brother,
Glory?
can I ask the first word of Al Imran, the first
Yeah,
ayah of Al Imran? How you explain it?
this is Surah 3.
Al Imran, verse
Yeah,
number
it's three.
one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, Surah
Alif
number
Lam
3.
Mim.
Al Imran. Yes.
Yeah.
Alif Lam Mim. No,
Yeah.
this I did not translate this one. This I have no idea, but
Yeah.
you can
Mhm.
say something that it is Aramaic. If it is Aramaic, and you have to notice something, is that the three words are connected. It's Alim, not Alif Lam Mim, right?
Yeah, in Arabic it's that. In translation, they
Alim.
make it separate.
If you read it as Alim in the
Yeah,
Aramaic, and of course I do not know Aramaic, but I got this from experts, Alim, just by itself, it means be silent. And this is because it was a Christian lectionary being read in the church, and the pastor or the priest, when he talks, he says, shh, be quiet, silence. We're gonna read some holy text. You see, that's the idea.
oh, that's the thing. But they claim Alif Lam Mim, Alim is the whole thing. That's how they explain.
What do you think? Do you think this is plausible or this is crazy?
This is crazy, definitely crazy.
What they are telling us, Saint Murad, or for example, if the Islamic scholar or whatsoever, they are saying that some of the ayah are mutashabihat, which only the Allah knows the meaning of those ayahs. So that's why it is not clear. And in fact, so many ayah, first verse is similar. So many surah, sorry. The first ayah is a similar alif lam mim or something like that.
Yeah, well, you see, the reason I say these people they are crazy is that because they didn't open an Arabic dictionary. The word mutashabihat, they say it as if it's something that's not very legislative or something along those lines. But mutashabihat comes from shabah. This means similar. So the Quran is
Mm,
saying that some of its verses are muhkamat, meaning they have judging in them, they have legislations in them, like law, and some are mutashabihat, meaning and some are like it. So this resembles this.
Hmm.
So just the Arabic dictionary will end them.
Hmm. Hmm.
okay, Sugar, you
And
wanna
what
ask
does it
something else?
mean, brother?
Hmm.
Uh,
Sorry.
haruful mukatat. What is this?
Well, they say al-huruf al-muqatta'a
Yes.
at about the starting verses like this alif lam mim. But do you know
Yeah.
muqatta'a? It means the ones that are separated. I am
Mhm.
telling you that it's not separated. These are the huruf that are not muqatta'a. It is not alif lam mim, it's alim. Just look at it in the Arabic. You will find that it's one word. They are not separated. They separate them so that they try to make it more mysterious. Oh,
Hmm.
huruf muqatta'a. Wow. Ah, this is
Yeah.
something magical. Allah knows. Come on, man. Relax.
Yes. Muslims,
So,
when we ask this, about this verse, they always, reply that this word only Allah can, understand and He knows only.
Yeah, it's because they do not know. So they say, well, only Allah knows. If they did know, they would give you an answer. But
hmm.
they do not know. But of course, there is an answer, and the answer is with the Aramaic speakers and the Hebrew speakers. The Quran itself actually tells you, ask Ahl al-Dhikr in kuntum la ta'lamun. But Muslims, they fraudulently tell you that Ahl al-Dhikr are imams, sheikhs. No, my man. Ahl al-Dhikr are the people of the remembrance. And what is the remembrance in the Quran? Look at every context. It's the Torah. It's the Old Testament. It's telling you, ask a rabbi. The Quran is telling you, ask a Christian or a Jew if you do not know these stories, because they have the
Hmm.
original Bible. They have the complete Bible. I'm just telling you snippets. You see, that's the reality. But the sin standard hoax hijacked all of that.
Hmm. So basically, Allah is shutting up everyone before before giving the surah and saying, "Alim, shoo shoo, don't speak." Now I'm going to give you the divine verses.
But I'm sorry to say, in our culture, when the baby is very small, saints, and the mothers they are carry them and they are trying to baby to make pee. They are making that sound. Shh, shh.
So Allah is doing shoo shoo, shoo shoo, don't speak.
Okay, there's another thing I want to ask, Mr. Saint. Sometime when we are reading, so we don't understand to Allah talking to Himself or Allah talking addressing to someone else. How did you tackle that problem in your translation?
Well, in my translation, I used the archaic pronouns also, like thou and thee and stuff. Why? Because in the Quran you have singular and you have plural and you have double. So in the Quran you have both, or you as one person, or ye, which would be multiple people. So I had to use these old pronouns so that the reader is not confused. That's how I
Uh,
tackled it.
because the if Allah talking to somebody, sometime in verse he's saying I, or he's saying in verse we. In half he's saying the similar like I or we.
Yeah, so these readings, they might all be wrong. Hafs, Warsh, anything. They are all wrong. Because the original skeletal text that had no vowels, this is the text which is correct. So you have to skip and go back as if the Abbasids never existed, as if the Arabic grammar never existed, and go back to the text and try to crack it with Aramaic and Hebrew, and you have to ask the people of the book, as the Quran says. You have to ask Christians and Jews so that they help you understand the Quran. But the further you go away from Christians and Jews, because they have the Bible, then the further you are going away from what the Quran is actually trying to say. I know it's weird, but this is the
Yeah,
result of years of researching. And what I'm telling you will find is not contradictory. In the Quran, what I'm telling you is not contradictory. But what the Muslims are saying is very contradictory. They say that the Bible is corrupt, and the Quran never said that. And even in the tafseer, which is laughable, the idea that the Bible is corrupt is very new. It came in later with the Middle Ages, with the Crusades. That's the point in time where they said that the Bible is corrupt. So the whole thing needs a total reconstruction from scratch.
Hmm.
And brother, can I ask one word which is mentioned in Surah 91 and verse 7? That is nafs, where Allah is, swearing the
Swearing.
nafs. Yeah.
swearing, yeah.
So what is that? That is soul or the private part of the man?
Nafs?
Yes. Surah 91, verse 7.
Yeah,
Surah
nafs in my
Al-Shams. Yeah.
yeah. You know, when I say nafsi in Arabic, what does this mean? It means my self. So the word nafs, it means a self. It is not a soul. It is self. Nafs wa ma sawaha means, and the self, which is the human, wa ma sawaha, and whatever made it in good proportions. Sawa, it's making something equal. So this is a self. If I look in myself in the mirror, this is the self. This is nafs.
نفس الشيء يعني.
Exactly.
Mm. But if we go deeply on that, the translation given us the sizes also, the private part. That's why the
Private
brother
parts.
asked you.
Private parts with nafs.
Yes, they related to that verse.
Well, this is
Exactly.
uh, this is a jump. This is a
Wa
huge jump.
nafs wa ma
It's just nafs.
sabaha.
Yeah, nafs is just a self. It has nothing to do with private parts. These people, I always say that Islam is written by men who are horny. Let me just say it bluntly.
Do agree. I do agree with that.
Yeah.
So in this verse, Allah is swearing himself.
Swearing? Ah, and my
Yeah.
translation also is different because I just have it as and. The
Mhm.
swearing part is not there. When it says وَشَمْسُ وَضُحَاهَا وَنَفْسٍ وَمَا سَوَّاهَا, it doesn't say I swear or something. It just says and. If you look at it in the Arabic, it's just and. There is no swearing.
In Arabic, it's
Wa,
custom, right?
so, so you
They
are
say
saying
they say that, but
wa is and, you mean to say A and D and, you mean to
yeah,
say?
exactly. Because if you look at these surahs, just read
Mm-hmm.
the end of this surah and the beginning of the next one, you will find that and, because they used to be one bulk.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Okay, so
So
what is
what
the
does
word
it
actually?
mean, Surah Al-Asr? Surah Al-Asr, number 1 and 2 verses. So where he said, Wal Asr al-Insan al-Fi khusr.
Yeah. What about it?
This is, Allah is also swearing about the ages or the time and the profit or the losses.
No, it
Qasam hai
says
zamane
wal
ki.
asr, meaning
Uh-huh.
and, because if you look at the, let's look at the one before it, Surah
Uh-huh.
102. It says ثم, like if you read it in English, then you will find that it goes well with the next one. And al-asr, and the asra, I say it means something like the ages or the eon. And it says,
Mhm.
surely the human is in great loss. It's just saying and, it's continuing. It doesn't say I swear. Because remember, the Quran has a form of saying I swear. So this word qasam is in the Quran, but it's not wa. This is just and or plus. That's why I don't have it as plus, or sorry, as qasam. It's not. They say it this way because they cannot understand what the Quran is talking about.
So what I try to understand is that Allah is not swearing anything in
No.
these words. No.
Do you see any swearing? It's just and or plus the uh, the age and the age. As simple
Uh-huh.
as that.
So what does it mean? How you can
Well,
translate it?
it does not have a lot of meaning. That's why they
Uh-huh.
say that Allah is swearing to give it context, but it doesn't have this context.
Okay, so to make it nicely presentable or to make them understand
Mm.
the
They
followers.
decorated. They decorated.
Exactly. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's what's going on.
Hmm. We
Thank you,
have
sir.
couple of
Thank you so much.
questions in the chat also. We have couple of questions in chat, and I'll appreciate if you have any more questions. You can write, and one by one we will take, and Saint Murad can answer. And I will request you all guys to just subscribe his channel. I have pinned his link. You can see, and even we have a coffee link also. Buy me a coffee, so you can go over there, and please, you can have the translation of Saint Murad, whatever he is explaining us now, and more also for all the surahs. And if the panelist, you have more questions, please go ahead. Then next we will take the questions from the audience. So I believe there are no questions.
Yes, thank
From
you.
my side, no more. And I will be very much interesting to read what he have discovered for us. I hope
Okay,
it's gonna be a good gift. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Ji, yes, Saint Murad, Tupac is actually shooting a couple of questions in the chat. He's saying that where can I find the complete Asbabul Nuzul? Any particular book you will suggest?
I do not know, to be honest, because I didn't like I do not look deep into the standard Islamic narrative. So this kind of question you can ask maybe CP, Christian Prince, or something.
Mm,
I do not know, but you will find a lot of it in within the tafseers
yes.
about Asbab
In the
al-Nuzul.
yes, I what from where I am getting from tafseer.com. So we'll get this is a Saudi website, and we will get so many Asbabul Nuzul. In fact, so many tafasir and all the imams are there. So Tupac you can find out from there. So he asked actually the next question when you were showing us a slide where you were explaining regarding the hijrah, immigration from Makkah to Medina. So that time he asked this question: what about the Sulh Hudaybiyah if Muhammad never traveled from Makkah to Medina?
Well, Sulh al-Hudaybiyah, you will find it only in the standard Islamic narrative, and you will not find it in actual history, like at all. Let me give you also, this is like adding insult to injury. You will not find any battles recorded outside of Islam. So the Battle of Badr, no one recorded it. The Battle of Uhud, no one recorded it. Hunayn, anything, you name it. You name it. There is no battle, Islamic battle, that has been recorded. Also, Muhammad slaughtering the Jews of Banu Qurayza and stuff. You will never find any Jewish source that says this. This is standard Islamic. This is Islam living in a bubble, in its own bubble, because during the Abbasid era and also the Ottoman era, they never imagined that they will be defeated one day. They kept lying, 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 and they created, like Sindbad or these folk tales like Aladdin. Muhammad is like Aladdin.
Arabian Nights, basically.
Uh, Yeah, exactly. This is
Mm,
Arabian Nights, but
mm,
given to a caliphate so that the people are united. But these stories they never happened.
mm. So
I
this,
remember one question. Sorry, Sachin. Uh, because sometime during the debate, when we are telling them there are certain verses like the killing the people who don't believe in Islam, like Yahud and Nasara, and some people they come up and they said this was for just that time. So, is there any timeline between the like now and that time? Is there any timeline mentioned, or we it was for just that time, or is applicable for entire life?
Well, your question is complex because it has two layers. The Quran doesn't have a timeline. Why are Muslims saying this? Because they feel embarrassed about it, because it looks so bad, especially in this day and age. So they say, well, this is just for this time or something. They will say this so that they don't look evil, especially in the Western world. But
Yeah, that
if, yeah,
yeah, that's what I want to know. If there is specificationally mentioned somewhere the timeline and all that.
no, in the Quran it's not. But with the new research that I'm doing and other people who are much better than me, we now can see that the Quranic author just wanted to capture Jerusalem. But this is a totally different subject that's very new and also very long. But for your question, does the Quran have a timeline? No. The Quran is forever, that you should be combating Jews and Christians till you kill them.
All right, got it. That's what we are saying, but I just want to make sure. What is your opinion about that?
Yeah.
so this guy Tupac is really fan of yours. He is admiring you in the chat, and that he came across a very intellectual Arabic speaker ever. So thank you, Tupac. And he's shooting questions also, which is nice. So when we were talking about this Surah Al Imran first verse, Alif Lam Mim or Alim or whatever, he's asking you, is it Al Uzza, Al Lat, and Al Manat?
Well, I have never come across this explanation before, but I think it's unlikely. It's unlikely. Alim is just like be silent. This is the closest explanation that I have right now. I might change my opinion in the future, but that's the opinion that I hold right now.
Hmm.
So,
So
according to your translation, can I ask the Surah 9 and verse 37? What do you think about this verse?
Verse
Surah Tawbah
57, verse 57.
37,
31.
31.
Yeah. Surah 9, verse 31.
931.
Yeah,
Ah,
931, let me
okay.
say. Yeah.
Yeah, they took their rabbis and their monks as lords apart from Allah and the Messiah, son of Mary, and they were not
Yes.
commanded except to serve one deity. There is no deity except He. Exalted is He about what they partner by Him. This is how I translated.
So
Mhm.
it's not that they have taken the rabbis and monks apart from, beside from Allah and Messiah?
Yeah, Allah and the Messiah are connected here because
Connected
you
here.
have this
Sure of this.
and
Hmm.
the and of course has to connect with the word before it. So من دون الله والمسيح ابن مريم. They say, yeah, I know what you're talking about, because they say, well,
Hmm.
al-Masih should be added with رهبانهم and أحبارهم. But
Yes.
this is wrong,
Yes.
of course. It's saying here that Allah plus the Messiah. They say, well,
Right.
Allah here, it has the kasra, it doesn't have the fatha. Again, this is wrong because Allah just has the kasra following the word min dun. So it just falls. It says that they should have served Allah plus the Messiah, son of Mary.
Well, team, we were right on that. We got the evidence now.
Thank you. So our next question, I hope Musa brother, you got the answer. Do you have some more questions, please?
No, it's okay. Just I wanted to learn about this surah and especially this verse. So because we have taken many time to tell them that Messiah is also equal to your Allah, and Allah is saying that you should worship Messiah too, the son of Mary.
Yes. Apparently, as per the verse, it is saying the same thing. Allah is telling them to do so. So, Saint, we will go to the next question. It's from Voyager. He is asking, what made you to do the post-mortem of Quran? Surgery, you
Well,
have done the surgery.
well, you see, everyone, almost everyone on the internet used to say that you can never understand the Quran on its own without using the sin standard narrative. And this alone made me want to translate it without opening the sin whatsoever. So it was more like a challenge. I was very happy to do it. Plus, this work has never been done before, so it's the first of its nature. It's gonna really help academia. It will really help to advance this research forward. So it's a big project. That's why I thought it had to be done.
Hmm. So, guys, if you have more questions, please write in the chat. And in the panel, if you have some questions, please go ahead. In the meanwhile, I'll request all the listeners now and later on, whenever you are listening to the recording, please subscribe Saint Murad channel. And there is a buy me a coffee link also in the description as well. So go over there, and you can have a Quran translation from there, which is translated by Mr. Saint Murad. Brother Joel, Brother Musa, you have some more to ask? Please go ahead.
No, thank you so much. I just wanted to say big thanks to Brother Saint Murad, and thank you so much that you have given us precious time and brilliant information, concrete information, and hopefully the people will, follow you and will, purchase this copy, the real translation, what you have, given to us. That is not less than the very precious gift for everyone. Thank you so much, and may God bless you and use you, brother. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much, and I'm so happy to be on this panel. So thank you for everyone. Yes, Glory.
Same here. Thank you. This question is bit personal. If you want to just skip, it's up to you. He is basically asking if you have read the Bible and your thoughts on it.
Yeah, I have never read the Bible from cover to cover. So because it's a very big book, and when I read it, of course, I'm planning to read it from cover to cover multiple times because it's not easy to take it all in. And I like to also watch a lot of commentary about it. The Bible is very deep, it's like layers upon layers of human civilizations there. So I cannot give a proper thought about the Bible now. That's the answer, you know.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So, Brother Joel, you have some questions, or we'll go towards the ending.
Uh, we'll go to the closing comments, and I just want to say thanks to Brother Murad. He had done a very beautiful research as he presented, and clearly we understand the things, and I really appreciate because it's a time-consuming thing which he has done. He spent a lot of knowledge of him, and he spent lots of time upon that. And thank you so much for that research. It's gonna help for so many reasons. Thank you so much.
Thank you for thank you so much, Joel. It's great, and I'm very happy that you appreciate this work. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Saint Murad. You came to our channel, and we have learned so many things from you. And I hope in future also we'll have a session and we'll learn more about this hoax in that sin and the actual translation what you have done. So really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, and hopefully we will do this also on the Adam Seeker channel, and it's gonna be really big. It's gonna shock a lot of people. It's gonna be fun.
Yes, yes, indeed. And I will request all the people, please subscribe to Saint Murad and go and have a copy of yourself to from the link in the description. Buy me a coffee. So please have a word in on the closing, Saint Murad, and we'll then end the stream.
Yeah, I just wanna thank you, Glory, and Joel and Peacemaker. I wanna thank you for this panel, and I wanna thank you also that you are doing this work in your language, in Urdu, because I didn't know about this. How serious it is to be an apostate in these countries is something that I do not know much about. I got to know a lot about Pakistan and India from these channels. So, what you are doing is very much appreciated, and this part of the world actually needs to leave Islam because it's a lot of people also. There are a lot of numbers, and this is gonna like ruin everything in the future. So they need to leave Islam. They need to follow. I would be happy if they follow Christianity, no problem. But any other philosophy is also better than Islam. I prefer Buddhism to Islam or Hinduism. It's at least peaceful to a degree. So thank you very much for everything you do, and thank you for having me here. And this is my closing words. And back to you, your final word.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining, and you are most welcome, Saint Murad. Everyone who was there in the chat, thank you so much. You have shooted questions, and hopefully, you got all the answers. And you have, I know that as we have learned here in the panel, you also have learned so many things. Thanks for the marks. I know that always you are doing so much effortless job to help in control the this thing chat things. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Joel Bhai and Musa brother, to give the time, because we have just 5 hours before Saint Murad, we had done a stream in Urdu, and I know it is very difficult to be again, but they have given so much time. Thank you so much. So on this note, I'll just end the stream, and I'll say, everyone, God bless you all. Have a blessed evening, morning, and afternoon, wherever you guys are.